Hi everyone! In this video we're going to learn how to find all 6 trigonometric function values of an angle if you only know one of those 6 function values, and you also know in which quadrant that angle terminates. So our example says that given that secant of theta is negative square root of 13 over 2 and theta terminates in quadrant 3, find the remaining 5 trigonometric function values of theta. So this is what we're given, right? And that's what we need to find. Those 5 function values. That's the way we're going to start. Now, we know that secant is reciprocal of cosine. And cosine is defined as x over r. Right? Well, that means that secant is defined as r over x. And that means that numbers in this ratio correspond to r and x. So the numerator corresponds to r and the denominator corresponds to x. Well, the only question, where should we put the sign, negative sign? Right now it's in the front. Well, let's think. Well, we know that r, the radius, is always positive. So we're not going to put it next to the square root of 13. So we must put that negative next to 2. And in fact, we can confirm that by recalling that theta is in quadrant 3 and x is indeed negative in quadrant 3. So from here we know that r is square root of 13 and x is negative 2. And now we're going to use the x, y, r definitions of the functions to find their values. Okay, I'm going to stop here for now. So to find sine, we need y and r. Now r we already have. We don't have y though. But can we find it? Yes, we can. Remember that x, y, and r, they are connected through this equation. So use x squared plus y squared equals r squared to find y. Let's try it. So x we know is negative 2 squared plus y squared, y we don't know yet, and then r is square root of 13 squared, like that. Okay, negative 2 squared is 4 plus y squared equals square of a square root. They cancel each other out, so it's just 13. Now I want to have y by itself, so I'll subtract 4 from the left side and from the right side. So that's y equals 13 minus 4, 9. Next, I'm going to take square root of each side. And I'll get y equals, and here I have to remember that I always get both positive and negative values when I square root both sides. So it's positive negative 3, like that. And I just need to decide what is the right sign in this case. How do I decide? Well, I decide by using the information about the quadrant in which angle theta terminates. So we know that theta terminates in quadrant 3. So what do we know about y values in quadrant 3? Well, in quadrant 3 they have negative signs, right? So that's Q3. And that's how you determine at this point what sign to choose. Look at the given quadrant. So y equals negative 3. I can add it to my list here. Y equals negative 3. And now I have everything I need to determine the remaining 5 function values. Going back to sine, y over r. So it's negative 3 over square root of 13. Of course, I would want to rationalize the denominator here. So that's going to be negative 3 square root of 13 over 13. Now cosine, it's x over r, which is negative 2 over square root of 13. I'm rationalizing the denominator, and I'm getting negative 2 square root of 13 over 13. That's cosine. Tangent, y over x. Y is negative 3, x is negative 2. Negative over negative gives me a positive. So it's 3/2. Next one is cosecant. Now cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. And the quickest way to obtain cosecant is to take result for sine and just flip it. And here's a tip. If you happen to have to rationalize the denominator for sine, don't use the final answer because, well, once you flip it, you will have to rationalize it again. Go a little bit back to the fraction that was not rationalized and use that to obtain cosecant, right? So we just have to flip this fraction and that's how we'll get cosecant very quickly. So that's going to be negative, overall fraction is negative, right? Square root of 13 over 3, like that. And then cotangent, okay, cotangent is easy. It's reciprocal of tangent. Since tangent is 3/2, cotangent will be 2/3. Okay, so that's the way to find all function values if you only know one. Use x, y, r definitions. Make sure that you take the given function and correspond it with its definition. So this way you can obtain 2 out of 3 important values. Use this equation, x squared plus y squared equals r squared, to find the missing value. And then once you have all 3, then you'll use definitions to obtain all function values.